Here's why you should learn to say no to women. Most men struggle in relationships because they don't know how to say one simple word, no. They bend over backward to please women, hoping it will earn them love, respect, or commitment. But here's the truth. Saying yes to everything makes you weak in her eyes. A man who can't set boundaries is a man who gets walked over, ignored, or used. The modern dating world is brutal. Women have options, and they are naturally drawn to men who stand firm, lead, and know their worth. If you hesitate, tolerate disrespect, or accept bad behavior just to keep a woman around, you're already losing. A man's strength is not in his ability to chase, it's in his ability to walk away. When you learn to say no, you command respect, increase attraction, and keep your power. But most men don't do this. They're afraid to lose her, so they agree to things they don't want to do, let her control the relationship, or tolerate disrespect. And the worst part? She loses respect for them. Women test men all the time. They want to know if you're a leader or a follower. If you can't say no, she will see you as weak, even if she doesn't say it out loud. This video will break down why learning to say no is one of the most powerful things you can do as a man. You'll learn when to say it, why it works, and how it changes the way women see you. Stop chasing, stop begging, and stop fearing rejection. A man who can say no is a man who controls the relationship, not the other way around. Now let's get into the 7 key reasons you need to start saying no to women. I've created a community on Podium where I break down everything you need to know, step by step. You'll get no-nonsense, practical advice that will boost your confidence and help you build stronger, more meaningful connections. And the best part, the first 20 people who join will get an exclusive discount. So don't hesitate. Click the link in the description to grab your spot. If you know someone who could use this, share it with them. 1. She tests your strength. Women are always testing men, not because they're trying to be difficult, but because they need to know if the man they're dealing with is strong enough to lead. A woman might not even be aware that she's doing it, but every time she pushes your boundaries, asks for something unreasonable, or tries to see how far she can go, she's running a test. The moment you fold, you fail. When a woman asks you to do something you're uncomfortable with, and you say yes just to keep her happy, she notices. She might not say anything right away, but in her mind she just categorized you as a man she can control. Once she sees that, she loses a level of respect for you. She might still be around, but the attraction won't be the same. A man who knows his value doesn't just say yes to everything. He doesn't let a woman's emotions dictate his decisions. If she throws a tantrum because he tells her no, he remains calm. If she threatens to leave, he lets her go. He is not controlled by fear of losing her. This is what separates men who are respected from men who are used. Saying no is not about being aggressive or difficult. It's about standing firm in what you believe. If you don't want to do something, don't do it. If she asks you to change your plans at the last minute and it doesn't work for you, say no. If she tries to guilt trip you into something, don't fall for it. The more you stand your ground, the more she will see you as a man who can't be easily manipulated. A woman respects a man who says no more than a man who says yes just to please her. Because deep down, she doesn't want to be in control. She wants a man who knows what he wants and stands by it. If you fail this test, she won't see you as the kind of man she can truly admire. If you pass, her respect for you will grow, and with respect comes attraction. 2. She loses attraction when you're too available. Women don't respect men who are always available at their every call. The moment she realizes that you will drop everything for her, she starts to lose interest. It's not because she doesn't want a man who cares, it's because she doesn't want a man who is desperate. Desperation kills attraction. When you never say no, you send a message that your time is not valuable. If she calls and you always answer, if she asks you to do something and you always agree, if she cancels plans and you instantly reschedule, you're making her the center of your world. And when a woman becomes your top priority too soon, she will see you as a man who has nothing else going on. A woman is drawn to a man who has a mission, a purpose, and a life outside of her. She wants to earn your attention, not be handed it for free. The men who get chased by women are the ones who are focused on their own path, not waiting around for a woman to give them a green light. The moment she feels like she can have you anytime she wants, she stops valuing you. This is why saying no is so powerful. If she asks you to hang out, and you already have plans. Tell her no. If she texts late at night and you're busy, don't drop everything just to reply. If she wants to see how far she can push your limits, let her know where you stand. A man who is selective with his time automatically becomes more attractive because she sees that he has options. A real example of this is when a woman texts a guy and he instantly replies within seconds every time. She might like it at first, but over time she starts testing him. She takes longer to respond. She cancels plans last minute just to see what he will do. If he keeps chasing, she loses interest. But if he pulls back, doesn't always respond immediately, and shows that he is busy, suddenly she starts valuing his time again. This doesn't mean playing games. It means having a life that doesn't revolve around her. If you're always saying yes, always available, always waiting, you become predictable. And predictability kills excitement. Women want to feel like they have to earn you, not like you're just waiting around to be chosen. The next time you feel the urge to say yes just to keep her interested, pause. Ask yourself, is this what I really want to do, or am I just afraid of losing her? If the answer is the second one, then you already know what you need to do. Say no and let her come to you. 3. She starts to control the relationship. The moment you stop saying no to a woman, you hand over control of the relationship. A woman will always take as much power as a man allows, not because she necessarily wants to be in charge, but because she is constantly testing to see if you are strong enough to lead. When you say yes to everything, when you avoid conflict just to keep the peace, when you let her make all the decisions, she slowly starts to see you as a follower, not a leader. This is how a lot of men lose themselves in relationships. At first they set the tone, they lead, they have boundaries. But then, over time, they start making little compromises. They start giving in to things they wouldn't normally accept. They stop standing their ground because they don't want to upset her. And before they realize it, she's running the entire relationship and they're just going along with whatever she wants. Here's what happens when a woman takes control. She stops respecting you. It might not happen overnight, but the shift is there. She might love you, but she won't look at you the same way. A woman does not want to be with a man she can walk all over. She wants a man who knows what he wants, sets boundaries, and is willing to enforce them. A real-world example is when a woman starts dictating what a man can and cannot do. Maybe she tells him to stop seeing certain friends, to change his routine, or to give up things he enjoys. At first he resists, but then, to avoid arguments, he starts giving in. He tells himself, "It's not a big deal," or "I just want to make her happy." But each time he compromises his own wants and needs for the sake of avoiding conflict, he loses more of his identity. A man who knows his worth does not let a woman control the relationship. He understands that relationships work best when the man is leading. That doesn't mean being aggressive, controlling, or unreasonable. It means having a vision, standing by his values, and not allowing a woman to steer him away from them. Saying no is one of the simplest ways to keep control. If she wants something that goes against your principles, say no. If she starts making unreasonable demands, say no. If she tests you by trying to push past your boundaries, stand firm. The moment you let a woman dictate how you should live, act, or think, she loses respect for you. And when respect is gone, attraction follows. A woman does not want to control a man. She might test to see if she can, but deep down she wants you to take the lead and stay in control. And the men who do that, the ones who stand firm in who they are the ones who keep their power and keep their woman's respect. 4. She stops seeing you as a challenge. Women are naturally drawn to men who are a challenge. The moment a man becomes too easy, too predictable, or too agreeable, a woman loses interest. Saying no is one of the strongest ways to keep yourself as a challenge in her mind. A woman wants to feel like she has to earn your time, your attention, and your commitment. If she gets everything she wants without any effort, she doesn't value it. Think about this. What holds more value? A prize that's handed to you or a prize you have to work for? Women operate the same way in relationships. When a man is too available, too willing, and never says no, he stops being exciting. A perfect example of this is the nice guy syndrome. Nice guys think that if they always say yes, always agree with a woman, and always put her needs above their own, she will like them more. But what actually happens? She gets bored. She starts pulling away. She becomes distant, uninterested, and even irritated. Not because she wants a bad guy, but because she wants a man who has his own mind, his own standards, and his own backbone. A woman respects a man who challenges her. She might not say it out loud, but she likes it when a man can tell her no. If she suggests something that goes against what he wants, and he confidently declines, she sees him differently. He's not like the rest. He's not desperate for her approval. He stands on his own 2 feet, and that's attractive. Imagine a woman who always gets her way with men. Every guy she dates folds the moment she puts pressure on them. Then she meets a man who doesn't. He pushes back. He doesn't chase. He doesn't try to impress her. Suddenly, she's intrigued. She starts thinking about him more. She wonders why he isn't like the others. And that's how attraction is built, by being the man who isn't so easily won over. Saying no doesn't mean being rude or dismissive, it means being firm in your values. If she asks you to do something that doesn't align with your standards, say no. If she tries to manipulate you emotionally, don't fall for it. If she gives you an ultimatum, don't react out of fear, stand your ground. Men who always say yes get taken for granted. Men who say no get respected. And the ones who get respected are the ones who keep a woman's interest. Because no matter how much she complains, no matter how much she pretends to be upset, deep down she wants a man who challenges her. That's the kind of man she can admire. 5. She starts to see you as weak. A man who cannot say no is a man who lacks strength in a woman's eyes. Women might not say it directly, but they instinctively test men to see how much they can get away with. If a man folds every time, she loses respect for him. When respect is gone, attraction is next. Strength isn't just about muscles or how much money you make, it's about your ability to stand firm under pressure. Can you hold your ground when she pushes? Can you refuse her when necessary, even if she gets upset? Can you stay true to your values instead of bending to her emotions? A man who always gives in shows that he is emotionally weak, and a woman cannot trust a weak man to lead. Women naturally want to follow the lead of a strong man. That's why they push boundaries, to see if you will stand your ground. If you fail these tests by always agreeing, always apologizing, and always changing yourself to fit her expectations, she starts seeing you as a boy, not a man. Imagine a man who starts dating a woman and in the beginning has his own way of doing things. He has his schedule, his priorities, and his life in order. But over time, the woman starts making small requests. She wants him to change his habits, to spend more time with her, to adjust his life to fit hers. At first, he resists, but then, to avoid conflict, he starts saying yes. He gives in once, then twice, then over and over. Before he realizes it, he's completely changed who he is to keep her happy. And what happens? She stops valuing him. A woman might act like she wants a man to always agree with her, but in reality, she doesn't. She wants a man she can look up to. She wants a man she knows will protect her and make decisions with confidence. If you are too afraid to say no, how can she believe you are strong enough to protect her from the real challenges of life? Strength isn't about controlling a woman, it's about controlling yourself. A man who can say no when needed is a man who respects himself. And when a man respects himself, a woman has no choice but to respect him too. If she asks for something unreasonable, say no. If she tries to guilt-trip you into doing something you don't want to do, don't fall for it. If she throws a tantrum when you stand your ground, let her. A man who is strong enough to withstand her emotional storms is the man she ultimately admires. Women are naturally drawn to strength. They lose interest in weakness. If you refuse to say no, you are showing her that you lack the strength to stand for yourself. And once she sees you as weak, it's only a matter of time before she looks elsewhere for a man who isn't afraid to be firm. 6. She loses trust in your leadership. A woman might not always say it, but deep down, she wants a man she can trust to lead. A man who knows what he wants, stands by his decisions, and doesn't waver under pressure. If you are unable to say no when it's necessary, you are showing her that you lack the ability to lead, not just in the relationship, but in life. Women test men constantly, sometimes without even realizing it. They push, they challenge, and they demand things just to see how you will respond. If you always fold, always give in, and never hold your ground, she begins to feel that she cannot trust you. And when a woman doesn't trust your leadership, her attraction to you starts to fade. Think about it. If a woman feels that she can control you, that she can manipulate you with emotions, that she can get whatever she wants simply by acting upset or giving you the silent treatment, she won't take you seriously. She may continue to take advantage of your weakness, but she won't respect you. And without respect, there's no real attraction. A real leader isn't afraid to make the tough calls. He isn't afraid to set boundaries. He isn't afraid to be disliked for a moment if it means standing by his principles. A woman might get frustrated when you tell her no, but deep down, she respects a man who is confident enough to stand firm. Look at any successful relationship where the woman truly admires the man. You'll see that the man is in control of his own life. He doesn't let emotions dictate his decisions. He doesn't sacrifice his integrity just to make her happy. He knows that true leadership means making choices that are right, even if they are unpopular. A good example of this is when a woman tries to test a man's boundaries. Maybe she asks for something unreasonable. Maybe she demands that he cut off his friends, stop focusing on his goals, or give up something important to him just to prove his love. A weak man will cave in, hoping to make her happy. But what happens? She loses faith in him. She realizes that he can be swayed too easily, that he isn't strong enough to stand up for what he believes in. But a strong man, he will say no. He will make it clear that while he values her, he will not compromise his principles just to keep her around. And in that moment, something shifts. She respects him more. She sees him as a man who knows his worth, a man who cannot be controlled. Women do not admire men they can dominate. They admire men who are in control of their own lives. If you cannot say no, you are telling her that you are not in control. And a man who isn't in control of himself can never truly lead. 7. You become her servant, not her man. The moment a man loses the ability to say no, he stops being a leader in the relationship and starts becoming a servant to her emotions, her demands, and her expectations. A man who constantly bends over backward to please a woman, no matter the cost to himself, is no longer viewed as a strong masculine figure. He is seen as a tool, useful but not desirable. Women do not dream about being with a man they can walk all over. They do not fantasize about a man who obeys every order without question. They respect men who can stand up for themselves, who have a backbone, who know their value. The second you start prioritizing her happiness over your own dignity, she stops seeing you as a man and starts seeing you as a doormat. Think about this. Have you ever met a man who will do anything to keep his woman happy? He will change his schedule, drop his priorities, sacrifice his goals, and even let her disrespect him, all because he is too afraid to upset her. And what does she do? She loses interest. She might stay around to take advantage of his constant yes answers, but she will never truly love or respect him. A woman wants to be with a man she can admire, a man who has standards, a man who isn't afraid to enforce them. If you are willing to throw away your values just to keep a woman happy, you are proving to her that you are not a man worth respecting. You are showing her that your self-worth is tied to her approval, and nothing kills attraction faster than a man who needs constant validation. A man with self-respect knows when to say no. He knows that his time, his energy, and his values are not up for negotiation. If a woman asks for something that goes against his beliefs, he tells her no without hesitation. If she tries to guilt-trip him, he does not fall for it. If she threatens to leave, he lets her walk. A man who understands his value does not beg, does not chase, and does not sacrifice himself just to avoid conflict. Let's take an example. A woman starts making unreasonable demands. Maybe she expects him to always be available, to ignore his responsibilities, or to prove his love by putting her first in every situation. A weak man will comply, thinking this will make her love him more. But what really happens? She loses interest. She starts looking at him with disgust rather than admiration. Because deep down, she knows a man who abandons himself for a woman is not a man she can respect. A strong man, however, sees through this. He understands that love does not mean becoming a servant. He will show care, but he will not lose himself. He will invest in a woman, but he will never allow himself to be controlled. He knows that if she truly values him, she will respect his boundaries. If not, he has no problem walking away. Men who cannot say no end up in relationships where they are used, not loved. If you want to be a man she truly desires, learn to say no and stand by it. A man who cannot say no is a man who has already lost control. Women do not respect men who are easily manipulated, always agreeable, or too afraid to stand their ground. Saying no is not about being rude. It's about setting boundaries, maintaining self-respect, and leading with strength. The moment you start enforcing your standards, everything changes. She sees you differently, she values you more, and most importantly, you regain control over your own life. If a woman cannot respect your no, she does not deserve your yes. Be the man she looks up to, not the man she walks over. If you're looking to take a deeper dive into these concepts, join my Podium community, link in the description. It's packed with powerful insights to help you master your masculinity in today's dating world. Stay strong, stay focused, and protect your power. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.